their brainstorming isn't working too well, but the more they do it, their brain starts going faster and faster, and pretty soon they can think of so many questions they almost can't write them down fast enough. It's kind of like they're training their brain to think this way. And my favorite little final example, and then we're going to move on to this next one, is this. I had a student a few years ago who told me later in the semester, after I taught this, he said, you know, when you taught that thing about the who, what, where, when, why, and how, he said, I kind of like that idea because I was the laziest reader in the world. I would read something and close the book and I had no idea what I just read. And I started doing that and it really helped. And it helped me to concentrate. I studied better, I got better grades. And whenever I hear that, that's really encouraging. I say, that's good to hear. Except after he said all those nice things about it, he said this, believe it or not. He said, but you've ruined my life. And I said, well, that's not good. I don't ever want to do that. I said, how did I do that? And what he said was really good, made me laugh, even though I don't know if he was saying it that way. He said, I got so used to this, doing this, that now when I'm walking down the street and I pass a newspaper stand and I look and I see the headline in the newspaper, he said something terrible happens. And what do you think that would be? Yeah, he asks questions like a little child, like I said at the very beginning. So he looks and it says, Senate passes bill. And in the past, he would have just looked at that and thought, whatever. But now as he's walking away, what's the bill? Who wrote it? When does it take effect? Who does it affect? And he can't turn it off. And I told him, if that's the way I ruined your life, I'm so happy. Because all of us should be a lot more like that. So again, this is sort of an artificial, forced way to get you like a child again, thinking and being all curious. And so many of us have lost that by the time we get to be even teenagers. And so this is a way to do it. Okay? So this is first idea. Any questions on this one? We kind of skip through little parts of this handout, and you can feel free to read the whole thing later, and it'll kind of, I guess, review a little of what we went through. Okay, so the second one, which we're going to spend most of the rest of the time on, has to do with creating your own study quizzes. And a lot of times when I bring up this topic, people look at me and they say, didn't you just teach us how to do that? Because that's what I just did, was teach you how to come up with questions, who, what, where, when, why, how. But this is a little different. This has to do with chapter headings. This has to do with all the stuff in the chapter, all the actual facts that appear under that. So what I want to do is I want to give you a page that is from a real college textbook, and I'm going to use this to sort of illustrate a couple of things to you about how you could read textbooks differently than the way that you might now. Again, it's just trying to get you more active, thinking more, and coming up with some good study techniques. That's the whole point of this. Okay, so this is from a textbook in what subject? I'm going to start that right there with you. Okay. What is this from?
This is from the last. This is from the last thing.
Right.
Remember the first thing that you taught?
Yeah. That was from.
Look at that.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah. So related to this, has anybody here ever taken an astronomy class before? Yeah. That's why I picked this, because most people look at this and say,